Good evening, Ruskin enjoyers. Hope you're doing alright, 'cause it's time for the predictions video. Earlier today, we saw the March 13, 2025 Rustor, and in this video, we need to go ahead and try and figure out which of these skins potentially is the best investment for this week, which of these skins might help us walk away with some sweet, delicious looking profit. So sit back, relax, I'm going to start yapping. Right, so this week, I'm not feeling super enthusiastic for it. Got a lot of collection continuations, which is nice, but even then, still not 100% convinced. With the previous weeks, we saw quite a lot of clothing and armour, but for this week, only a pair of gloves. Alright, maybe they're trying to even things out. But looking at all of them, I'm getting a first impression of they're probably not going to be selling that much compared to previous weeks. Again, when you want to make investments, you never rush into things. You wait it out, and then you see how everything turns out towards near the end, and then you make a move if you think things are looking pretty good around then. Because as of now, a lot of people jumped in because they're hyped up for certain skins, but will it last? Will it actually carry over across the week? Will they actually reach a certain amount of sales and whatnot? That is when we should start questioning things. So my first impression, as I was alluding to, don't think it's going to be a very busy week. And looking at all of these skins straightforward, I'm thinking I don't really think it's going to be super positive. Now, again, first glance, I want to see what the first 24 hours of sales look like. I want to see how things look like on Wednesday night next week. Then, of course, I'll get a much clearer picture. But I'm not super enthusiastic. I hope I got that point across. But at the very least, looking at all of these skins, I do still see something that appears to be in a very good spot, and it's going to be the fallen gloves. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. So over the past 3 weeks, we have seen some tier 2 armor, some clothing, and now we've got the gloves. Unfortunately, the boots weren't accepted, but that happens every now and then. Face Punch just prefers gloves sometimes. So maybe in the future we'll see the boots as a version 2, or maybe we randomly see it in a complete the sets Rustor. We'll see. Anyway, so the fallen gloves. We might see this work out very nicely based on the fact that it probably won't sell that much. As I said, looking at all the skins, not 100% sure if it's going to be A-OK. But if that does not match up to the sales that the clothing did and the tier 2, which is around 11 to 12,000 subscribers, if that falls short, and of course on the horizon, we still anticipate tier 3, maybe a jacket, maybe a backpack. If we see continuations appear after this, and that does include potentially the boots, that is in a very, very, very good spot. So let me just quickly remind you of the Abyss collection, which was a fairly in-demand collection when all the clothing and armor came out, but afterwards we saw the boots and the gloves. Well, actually, it's gloves first, then boots. Point I'm trying to get across is this did about 27,000 subscribers. The tier 2 did about 16,000 subscribers, and the clothing sold about 14,000 subscribers. Why am I bringing that up? Because when the gloves came out, it sold just short of 10,000 subscribers. That was the lowest selling skin that we had out of all of these. And then afterwards, we also had the boots, which only did 9,500 subscribers. Why am I making such a fuss? Because that's sitting here at $6 right now, and this is sitting here at $3.56. That tripled in price, that doubled in price. All these skins here, they're up in price, but they're certainly not like these. So what happened? Well, these are the lowest selling ones out of all the clothing and armor. So if there's only so much of it to go around, but the collection remains in demand, that gets bought out. There's only so much of it in the Steam market, prices go up. It's as simple as that. So now that you understand that, with the fallen gloves, with the position that it's in right now, if we do see tier 3 on the horizon, and if it's accepted, that's the very good spot. But let's just say this only sold like 7,000 or 8,000 subscribers by the end of next week. There's only so much of that to go around, and that very likely could end up eclipsing all of these. Now, you might see this is currently listed at $7, but SUMM's a bit weird for the pricing, so just to confirm, this is on the Steam market right now at $2. Still doubled in price, but it's not that price. But maybe that could be $7 in the future. We'll see. So it's in a very good spot, but it's not abnormal. And if you don't fully understand what abnormal skins are, regular skins, well, it's terminology I use with certain special qualities. So let's just quickly go over to my YouTube. Consider watching my most recent Ruskin Abnormal Barders video. To understand what abnormals are, with every single Rustor that we see, certain skins will become marketable before the Rustor has even rotated. And we can use that time to our advantage to put Barders down as soon as possible, see how much interest each skin has with the total Barders they have, how high the price goes and whatnot. We can get a clear picture if it's actually in demand or not, and if it's actually going to retain value in the future or whatnot. So consider watching the first 5 minutes of this, scroll down to the description, skip ahead to the Barders chapter that you see there, and then consider watching the Abnormal Barder support. You'll basically understand that with the time advantage, things are just so much easier in figuring out what's potentially going to be a very nice investment. This is why I always say, don't rush into things, let time pass, then make considerations. All right then. So hopping out of here, that's in a very good spot, and potentially with what's coming out on the horizon, even better. So we'll leave that for now. Looking at all the other skins here, what's potentially looking to be a nice investment. I am curious about the B-Rock, but there is a bit of a problem with this. You might notice it in the thumbnail. When you look at this in-game, the top half has a bit of a... It's got a normals issue. You probably don't understand 3D modeling and textures and whatnot, but in certain light, this top part appears darker compared to the bottom. Hopefully that gets fixed, because I'm not sure if people are even noticing it. But this is another cute animal rock. How nice, how cute. But we're starting to see more and more cute animal rocks. So in the past, do you remember when the capybara rock came out and everybody was really happy with that? But then we got hamster, then we got the hermit crab, then we got the pug rock. This was perfectly in the positive in the past when it was all by himself, but then we kept getting more and more options, and now look at it. Sold just over 30,000, which was absolutely ridiculous for a rock skin. But because it was a capybara and looked cool, people wanted it. Then people wanted the hamster rock. People liked the hermit crab, not as much compared to the others, but you get the idea. Then the pug rock came out. So you kind of get the general gist. If we keep seeing more and more cute animal rocks being produced, there's going to become a bit of a problem because, you know, which one's keeping the attention, which one's actually going to be used a lot more compared to the others. So far this year, we've already seen 3 cute animals, baby hippo, sloth rock, and now bee rock, and it's March. There's probably a lot more, and on the workshop I have seen a lot more. I've seen like red pandas, I've seen other animals I can't remember at the top of my head right now, but you get the idea. So with this right here, how much is that going to sell by, you know, next week? Because this is also abnormal. It will become marketable before the rust even rotates. That's good, that's helpful. But could this potentially actually build up into a collection? We shall see. Well, I'll be honest with you, I don't really have much else to say. We'll see how this turns out. But I'm definitely leaning more towards doubtful, so I'm just going to move on. I'm going to look at all the other skins here, make a consideration, and I think I'll talk about Harbour Seal Large Box, but I'm still leaning into this thinking, not feeling super enthusiastic. Well, what makes you say that, Hedge? Well, none less glows in the dark, just want to bring that up first of all, so that might be a bit of a concern. But, yeah, this is not exactly like a normal collection. We got a rock, we got a door, we got a hammer, and now we have a large box. Yeah, that's a bit all over the place. Now, they even tried to do tier 3, but Facepunch didn't want it. But with the skin creators here, I do feel confident that they will be putting out some interesting designs. I do feel confident that we'll be seeing potentially like a small box, maybe a garage door and whatnot. But if we're following from what we see here, I don't think they're going to glow in the dark. But do they need to? We shall see. But this large box here in particular, it definitely doesn't look like it'll be selling that much, especially compared to all the other things. Maybe a sheer lack of sales could help it out, and with the potential of seeing continuations in the future, and just to point out the most recent things that they have been successful with are Harbour Seal skins, I think it could help it out a lot. Again, a sheer lack of listings could definitely help this and potentially rising up in price ever so easily. So we'll leave that there, but it's not the most highest of confidence. That's the best way of putting it. Smart Barter though, it is abnormal, so we'll chase after that next week. So I'll look at all the other skins here, and now I think I'll talk about the Arctic backpack. So $2.49, but it's another backpack, and what, over the course of, when did they first become, November. So you're talking about 4 months, and we've already seen 20 skins in total. Well, there you go. Now you can understand why people kind of get a bit of fatigue with these, and with the most recent backpack that we saw, the Phantom backpack, people just really didn't care that much, and it basically, it was the lowest ever selling backpack we ever saw. So upon seeing that, you're probably thinking, oh, okay then, why is it in the positive? Because it's sold next to nothing. So right now there's only 21 listings, and well, everyone who owned one refused to list theirs below $4, so people over here had to kind of catch up. So is it actively actually selling that much at $4? Probably not really. But looking at this, you're probably sitting there wondering, but Hedge, it perfectly blends in with a hazmat in-game. You think that's the first time this has ever happened? Well, hang on a second, back over to here. Don't you remember this, the large hazmat backpack that sold at $2.49 as well? Well, now it's selling at 85 cents. Ta-da! Now, that did about 23,000 subscribers. At the current rate of sales, yes, this is the top-selling skin, I don't know if we're actually going to reach that same amount. So, again, it's probably smarter to wait it out and see how things are by Wednesday. I don't think we'll be reaching 23,000, but I can't give you a solid answer until we're about a day in, but don't just assume because it can perfectly blend in with a hazmat, it's going to be A-OK. But what happens if we potentially see several backpacks, all for each individual special hazmat that we have? Okay, maybe that might be a little bit different, but as of now, just looking at that in particular, I think you're just better off with a buy order. Now, I will also point out, if you'd like it, if you just want to buy it and use it for yourself, by all means, just treat yourself. Buy it, use it, enjoy it, support the skin creator, keep them nice and motivated, keep put out nice creative designs in the future. Right? Not everything has to be an investment. And if you just want one for yourself, go for it. But if you want to actually make an investment, probably buy 50 or 100 of them, wait till next Wednesday, see the sales then you make those considerations. Cool. Right then, so we'll move on from there then. So I'm looking at all the other skins and I'm making considerations now. And I think now I'll talk about Elysium LR300 purely based on the idea that I don't think this is going to sell that much. And, of course, we already saw that happen with the AK-47, because 2 weeks ago, Facepunch accepted this skin, and it did look good, and, props to the skin creators, very nice to look at, but they sold it at $5. After we just had all the Twitch drops being given away for absolutely free. So you can probably understand that people just weren't super thrilled to spend $5 on a brand new AK, and that led to this only doing 7,200 subscribers. And this is why we only have 16 listings on the Steam market. But you know what? About 5 sales and it's back up to its rush door price, just saying. And with the arrival of the LR300 today, it could be the beginning of potentially a much bigger collection. So let's just go give this a quick look. And as you can see, looking nice and shiny, the cool looking patterns on this gold LR300. I mean, it's quite impressive. And if you want to get a better look, consider watching my rust rotation video to see that for yourself. But it looks nice, and I do expect a lot more. Thompson's L96 crossbow, we shall see. But I think we're not going to truly notice the actual genuine, what's the word to say, appreciation until we start seeing a lot more of the skins. I reckon around the summertime, a lot of people will be playing, especially with this proposed jungle update, and they'll probably see that for the first time ever and think, wow, that looks cool, I'm going to go buy it. And with only so many of them to go around, as you can see, well, it's going to be very easy for them to rise up in price. So if there's a lot more, there should potentially be a lot more interest. And with the way Facepunch is treating this as like a premium set for the prices they're selling at, maybe it could work out. All right? And maybe it doesn't, maybe it's not always going to be a weapon collection. Maybe we start to see the, the clothing and armor. Maybe we see some deplorables. But there's only 2 skins at the moment. And this one right here is an LR300. Are you feeling positive with the LR300 in its current state? I don't think everybody else is, considering the prices I'm seeing here. Ooh. Not many of these LR300 skins are doing very well, so I'm probably just going to take a step back, stick with a buy order. Even though this isn't selling at $5 and is selling at a cheaper price of $3.49, even then I'm going to stick with a buy order. So I could see potential nice things, but we need to see a lot more of this. And with the skin creators being Slanoster and Duck, I do expect that they will stick with this and keep producing some nice, consistent, cool-looking skins. So cool. All right, that's at least a positive thing to look forward to. Looking at the remaining skins now, I think I'll talk about the Commando MP5. Now, just to quickly point this out, MP5s, over the past few years, we've had some very interesting designs and very, very helpful, Twitch drops that are given away for absolutely free, which apparently I can't look at anymore. Thank you very much. Well, regardless, you might notice that a lot of the MP5s here are down in price pretty badly. Yeah. And then scroll down to the previous year. Well, that's a bit more 50-50, isn't it? True, but I'm not really feeling confident. But at the very least, I don't think we've had anything that compares to the Blackout MP5 in terms of its design. Now, this is currently selling for about $13. The Commando MP5 that we literally got the Rustle right now, it's about 5 times cheaper than this. It looks pretty much the exact same design. Useful with aim sight, sleek back design. Need I say anything else? Can it fully work out perfectly just because of that? Maybe. That did 23,000 subscribers. How much is this likely going to sell? Not super sure, but I'm not surprised to see it's the second best-selling skin right about now. Now we'll talk about the Commando collection. So we have recently seen the Black Ops collection appear, and last year we also saw the Black Diamond collection. Both of those are still active. What happens if they get an MP5 made and accepted? That's no longer special, is it? As the Blackout alternative option, it might end up becoming one of the Blackout alternative options. And after seeing a Black Diamond AK and, of course, a Black Ops AK, the Commando AK has started to suffer because of it. Because, again, when there's more options available, it's harder for them to maintain interest. So that right there is currently down by $1. Now, most skins in general right now are down in price. That is understood. But the things that have been going on haven't really helped them out. So maybe it's going to be a situation where we just stick with doing a buy order. that usually works out for the best. Let's wait and see how much this has by next Wednesday when we're doing the abnormal stream, which happens every Wednesday night around 9 p.m. London time. Look in the description, see links to all my socials. Yeah, I think we'll just have to consider it. I think a barter is definitely going to be the smart way of going about it. Right then, so after talking about that, I'm now going to talk about this Sunken garage door. So how many garage doors have we had so far this year? And how many weeks have we had so far this year in 2025? Well, we're currently in our 11th week, and we already have 9 garage doors. What? Yeah, we keep getting too many garage doors, and with the current rate of acceptances, wouldn't surprise me if we eclipse the record-breaking amount of garage doors we saw last year. Look at all those garage doors that are easily in the positive. Yeah, actually, there's a lot of them down in price pretty badly. Yeah. So, oh well, yeah, pretty much all of these are in the negative as well. Far too many skins being made for garage doors. Far too much compared to, and unfortunately, it's a struggle to maintain interest. That's a clear example that you can see right there. And this right here, it's not exactly the most in-demand collection, but with the arrival of this today, this has eclipsed $3, so that's nice. But that didn't sell that much. That only did just about 10,500 subscribers, which really isn't that much. How much is the garage door going to do? If it sells next to nothing, that can help it out quite nicely, but what's next? Wooden door, armoured door, some other double doors, a locker? Are we going to delve into other deplorables? Are we going to trap that octopus inside a large box? I don't know at the moment, but you've got to keep an eye out in the workshop at the very least. I know the skin creator is fully capable of putting out some very cool looking designs. It's just a matter of what happens next. We don't currently know, so cool, right. I would still expect it to go down below its rust price. Yeah, there will be more garage doors. There will be more Twitch drops. Oh, yes, indeed. All right, fair enough. So with everything all said, I think I'll now talk about the Blackstone door. Now, the Blackstone collection's odd because it's technically also part of the polished obsidian set made by the same people, but Face Punch looked at the Blackstone collection and accepted like a rock and a furnace and called it polished obsidian instead. But now we have a deplorable over here in the Blackstone collection. It's weird, it's odd, and with the amount of sheep in the doors that we saw last year, I don't exactly have a lot of faith in sheep in the door skins anymore. We have a ridiculous amount in total, and with last year we saw a ridiculous amount being accepted. If we follow the footsteps of that, you might notice that pretty much every single skin is in the negative, and down pretty bad. So many of them down to around $1 and below, alright? So, sorry to say, I've seen this in game and consider watching my rust rotation videos to see it for yourself. It's fine, it looks cool, it's very reflective, but it doesn't glow, and I'm not really sure if everybody's like super behind something like that. So I think it will just be a buy order. Yes. Looking at these 2 remaining skins, again, not that much faith, but with the mini Beehive box, it's nice, and obviously in reference to the new content that's just added, the beehives. But is that it? Yeah. And it's not like super noticeable. I'm just concerned. I don't think everyone's going to jump onto this and think, wow, super cool, super crazy. It's fine for what it is. It's just, take a look at all the other large boxes, small boxes we've had over the past few years. We've had some very interesting, colourful designs, certain skins of notable collections and whatnot. So many of them down in price anyway. I mean, for example, here we have the Forest Raider small box, and it's down in price. Now, that did sell quite nicely. I don't think that'll be selling as much, but even then, is there going to be a collection of this? I doubt it. I don't have that much faith. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes down to $1 and potentially less. So, yeah. And then we have the Eye SAR. I like the Eye SAR collection. I think it looks really cool with the blue, like mosaic, cracked ice design. It's just other people don't, and you have to respect that. And unfortunately, these are down in price pretty badly. So yeah, a SAR skin right about now. Well, how many SAR skins do you reckon we've had so far this year already? Oh, look at, that's another 9. Yep. So, yeah, we've got a lot of these in circulation. We see almost as many SARs compared to AK-47 acceptances every year. And as you might notice, only a couple of them are currently in the positive. So many of them in the negative. And that's already not exactly a very in-demand collection. So this SAR, it doesn't have a lot of support. It doesn't have a lot of love. You can go give this a good watch of my rust rotation video to get a much better look at it. But even then, I don't think it's going to hold up, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to end up being a 60 cent to 80 cent buy order. So, yeah. This week, again, I told you pretty quickly, I'm not feeling the most positive, but yeah. So, smart buy orders all the way? Probably. We'll leave it at that then. So, is there anything else we should be talking about? I reckon we can talk about things on the horizon. You should be keeping an eye on the commits. Lots of interesting things being mentioned, but it definitely feels like the focus is potentially a brand new knife. Yeah, we've seen one of the devs talking about and showcasing a new knife they're working on Twitter, and this might be a bone knife or it might be a brand new knife in itself. Keep an eye out on the workshop and listen in on Twitter. I'm sure a proper reveal will happen soon. Maybe it's DLC. Who knows? But over to here, Jungle Update does appear to be the main thing that's being focused. Brand new foliage, brand new animals, changes to the monuments they're currently working on. We'll see what happens next, but yeah, you get the idea. That very likely could be coming fairly soon, at least in the summer, I assume. And then over to here, well, what's happening very, very soon? We have the Easter. The Easter update. We have Easter of 2025. Let's just roll with that. So you know how last year we got the chicken suit, the technically, but not technically, but technically wooden leg skins, where you run around and you got the inflatable chickens. It looks like you're riding on them. This year it's horses. Fair enough. Not going to complain about that. So, all right then. That'd be another $10, please. But here's a good idea, or rather a good, interesting thing to think of. Does that mean we probably won't see the return of chicken suit this year? Or maybe they just bring them back regardless. We'll see. Now, it's not just that. There's also potentially going to be a brand new Rustige egg that has been mentioned, and apparently it's going to have the cargo music. So, all right, fair enough. But it has been mentioned. I just don't have a link for it right now, and I'm very sorry about that. And if I could just quickly navigate over to here, I just want to mention that we also happen to have, potentially, a brand new special Discord item. What is it? Don't know. But apparently, so as long as you have your account linked on Discord, you get that for absolutely free. But what will it be? Feel free to comment below. What would you like to see? Probably a brand new desk skin, brand new headset skin. Okay, that's probably not a bad idea. A door, a hoodie, we'll see. Maybe it's an AK, just Discord branding on it. So who knows what it'll be, but we've got to keep an eye out. So keep looking on the commits, and you'll be well informed of what's potentially coming out on the horizon. And so with that, thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. I hope everything was nice, concise, and straight to the point. And also, I hope you enjoy the premium servers. Let's see if that works out nicely. But it wouldn't surprise me if they potentially increase the cap with the inventories. Personally, I think it should be $50 and 500 hours. Everyone who's dedicated to playing Rust probably already has those numbers, so it shouldn't be too much of a fuss. But it really wouldn't surprise me if they update it. It really wouldn't surprise me if they increase it. But for now, just try and enjoy yourself. And so with that, thank you for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Catch you later. See you, goodbye.